everyone. My name is Old Man Hitch, and welcome to the first episode of a new series that I'm calling 20 Hours With. Now, you might be asking yourself, what the heck is 20 Hours With? And that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. You can think of it as a mix between a review and a first impressions video, because I'm going to spend about 20 hours on each game and then make a video presenting my ideas and thoughts on that game. Today we're going to look at Tom Clancy's The Division. It's an open world RPG third-person shooter with a very realistic art style, and it was produced by Massive Entertainment, which is an Ubisoft studio. This game hits a lot of genres that I really enjoy. I really enjoy open world games these days, like Far Cry and Fallout and Mad Max. One of my favorite games from the last couple of years was Shadow of Mordor. If you're looking for main quests, side quests, collectibles, random encounters, this game has it. However, if you're looking for a lot of variety, this is not going to be the game for you, because a lot of the quests are repeated again and again and again. And it's straight up copy and paste too. And it's not only the details of the quest, it's the voice acting as well. Like this one.
Traffic. Taking small arms fire! Small arms fire! Looters have us in their sight! JTF, hearing this? Please respond! Tracking signal. Analysis complete.
That's literally the exact same call for help you'll hear every single time you come upon one of those missions. And if you're going to pay full price for a AAA title, I think you would expect a little bit more variation and stuff like that. That's just my opinion. Other people, it may not bother you, but it's almost Preston Garvey level of annoyance for me, for some reason. Well, you might be wondering what makes this an RPG. And aside from the overall story arc, which is pretty good, the character progression is very strong. And you can upgrade your character in a number of different ways with loot drops. That's the main way. But unlocking parts of your base will also upgrade your skills and give you perks and stuff like that. And you can really notice a difference going from an area where you were struggling, and if you upgrade your gun and you go back to that area, you'll just be mowing things down. It's really satisfying. One of the best ways to upgrade your character is through the crafting system, and the best part about the crafting system is everything you loot from the very beginning of the game can be turned into a crafting material, which can later be turned into a higher level crafting material to create higher level items. In this clip, I lacked some of the weapon parts I needed to craft a new SMG for myself, so what I'm doing here is crafting the upper level crafting materials that I needed to get the new weapon. You unlock these recipes by doing certain quests throughout the map, or just leveling up. You'll get a whole new set of recipes sometimes. All of the loot and the crafted items in the game come with randomly generated stats and abilities, and the cool thing about that is that it can be re-rolled if you don't like a certain stat on a certain item, but it does cost money. Another way to upgrade your weapons is through attachments, and here I'm taking all the attachments off my older weapon and switching it out for the new one. Currently, you can choose from light machine guns, SMGs, assault rifles, shotguns, and sniper rifles. They all have strengths and weaknesses, but really what you're going to be carrying probably depends on what you got for a drop or what you're able to craft at any given time. And it always feels great to take that brand new, newly crafted weapon out and shoot some people in the face with it.
Warning. Incoming hostiles.
Let's talk a little bit about performance, because it's really smooth. 60 frames per second on my system with ultra and very high settings, and it looks great. there's not much else I can say. I mean, you can see for yourself. Hopefully it comes through on a YouTube video just how pretty this game is. Here are a couple screenshots that I took so you can see some of the detail, like on this character model here. Some of these landmarks from New York. Makes me wish I was more familiar with New York so I could see some of this stuff in real life. But as you can see, it looks great. One area of weakness is the lack of real classes like you would see in a shooter like PlanetSide, for instance, where you have medics and engineers and stuff like that. For the most part, everybody's pretty much the same in the Division, with a little bit of variance in what skills you're running at that particular time. Now I'm going to jump into the game and go over some of the settings and give you a tour of the base that I have set up so far. Okay, so here's your basic logon screen. One of the cool things about this game is you have room for different character slots. And I'm going to show you a character customization in just a second. But first let's look at the options. For controls, you have mouse sensitivity and mouse acceleration on or off. That's good. Pretty much everything is rebindable, and there's one good thing about is there's not a lot of sharing of buttons, so you're not having to use E for everything. We have typical video settings here. I have mine set for whatever the NVIDIA suggested graphics are. You can adjust the brightness. You can do colorblind mode, which is good. And you can turn all the indicators on and off, or hide the HUD. Audio, music volume, sound effect, dialogue. It would be nice if there was a master volume. And one thing you need to realize is that the game default is push to talk off, so your mic is going to be open when you join a group by default, unless you tell it push to talk. And then this third party thing is interesting. I had to look it up, but it supports some kind of like eye tracking software and device from this company called Tobii, or Tobii, I don't know how you pronounce it. But I think it's interesting. It might let people with disabilities play. It says on their website that you can control your character basically by looking where you want to go and tapping. Alright, so we go into the game and show you around some of the base that I've built up here. Now, one of the cool things about the game is you can see the snow flurries falling, and the weather changes from everything from like bright and sunny like this to blinding snowfall, which is really cool. It's hard to see very far in front of you when you have that going on. It's a really nice touch. So here's your base of operations. For some reason it forces you to walk through here. It's really annoying. But you can restock in these little restock barrels here. And then there are 3 wings to this base. The medical wing, tech wing, and security wing. And you upgrade each one. You get points for doing missions, and you use the points to upgrade the base in different ways.
Can't talk right now. Keep up the good
Like
work.
I have 380 points for this. particular wing. So I could purchase a procurement team that collects items from scavenger boxes in the security wing every 12 hours. So I could go ahead and do that. There. Just upgraded. And I got new perks and new talents for doing that. Let's see. Here's something I've unlocked. Dark Zone
Got a
gear.
hell of a selection.
And I just wanted to show you this real quickly because this is a weakness in the game, in my opinion. You have to have a Dark Zone rank to use any of these weapons. By the time you get to be Dark Zone rank 30, you're not going to need these weapons anymore. You're going to be well past that. You're going to have yellow items.
Maybe you'll come back later.
Another cool part is this
Deal for the
guy,
streets right here. Best
advanced
deals in
weapon
the city.
dealer. So you can get, he'll have different purple items and he restocks every 24 hours.
No big deal. See you around.
Here's your rewards
wanna
claim.
Come back when you feel like buying.
Look, it's just not a good time right now.
Here's the medical wing. I'm almost done with it. Just gotta raise 1,000 medical points. Only got like 840 to go. So that's your base, you know. You got vendors,
What are you looking for?
weapon vendors, gear vendors. Here's your crafting station.
I'd ask you what's new, but I see you're in a hurry.
And that's pretty much the base. Okay, this is the character customization. As you can see, there are a couple different ways that you can change your character around, male or female, obviously. And then there's several different faces, although not really enough, to be honest. Not a lot of choice there. And the women are really kind of bleak. But some people might like that, I guess. And then skin tone and then eye color. But I always kind of laugh at eye color changes in a game because really you can't ever really see it. Okay. Hairstyles. It's another thing. I hope they add more hairstyles. Facial hair. Need more beards, man. Definitely need more stuff. You should be able to change the color of your beard versus your hair too. You can add scars and war paint. Huh. Alright. And tattoos. These are like around your neck area. You can see them changing. And then you can have piercings and whatnot. And then you have a couple different sunglasses to choose from. So that's about all you can do as far as your physical features go, but there is one more thing you can do to change the way your character looks, in the game, and that's by changing the wardrobe. Cosmetic items are dropped throughout the game by NPCs and also characters that you kill in the Dark Zone. And you can also unlock a vendor in your base in the security wing, I think, that sells cosmetic items as well. And you can change a lot of stuff. Your pants, your hat, your shirt. You can have a jacket or no jacket, or a scarf or no scarf. There's also different skins you can get for your weapons to change the way that they look and make them stand out and look cool. I just wish there was more options as far as this goes. And maybe there will be in the future with DLC and stuff like that. So that's something to look forward to. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the player versus player, or just player interaction in general. There's a couple different ways you'll interact with other people in this game.
Area is safe.
You'll notice right away when you get to your first safe house that you're not alone in this game. There's plenty of other people. And you can use these areas to find groups.
No status.
Something kind of annoying and also kind of funny though and interesting that happened to me, and hopefully it won't happen to you, is on this very first deal, see how I'm having to press F to access the computer? Well, because of the collision detection, I kept getting bumped out of the way and it would cancel that animation. Well, it was happening to everybody else too. So what somebody suggested is that we just start a line, and so we did. And you might say that'll never work, but it actually did work for the most part. You'll see it's sped up, but see people will come in and try to muscle in, and then we'll tell them to get in line. And sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, sometimes they'll just keep trying. But this went on for like 20 minutes for me because I was actually bugged. By the time I got to the front of the line, nothing would happen. So I had to exit the game. I tried to exit several times and come back in, and I had to stand in line again, and sure enough, nothing would happen. The only thing that fixed it was eventually I went out and just ran around and killed a few things outside and came back, and it put me in a different instance, I think, where there was like nobody there, and I was able to do it. I really just wanted to show off this line because I think it's freaking hilarious that what people will go through to play a video game. To stand in a line for 20 minutes. And I don't know if this happened in multiple instances or not, but I did see a screenshot of this made it to the front page of Reddit the next day, so I thought it was pretty funny. You can group with your friends to just roll around the whole map if you wanted to, but chances are when you're finding a group, it's going to be in one of these instances that you set to hard difficulty, and you'll be able to find people to group with you. And it makes things a lot easier and a lot smoother. And it doesn't take away any loot or any experience or anything to group. It just saves on time, really. The final player interaction that you'll have is in the Dark Zone, and this one is interesting. Some people call it PvP. This will probably be controversial, but I don't think PvP exists in this game. To me, PvP is two sides of a conflict fighting over something. Some kind of reward or a point system or something that's worth fighting for. There's really no reason to kill players in this game other than just for the lulz. And it's not even enjoyable really for me. I don't know. I know that some people do find it that way, and I think I think they were trying to capture some kind of like DayZ type feeling with what they've implemented here, to that you have this uneasy feeling about everybody around you, and you don't know if they're a good guy or a bad guy. Are they going to shoot you and take your stuff, or are they going to just leave you alone? You know what I mean? But I just think it's really poorly implemented, and I don't care for it. I don't know how much I'm going to do of it, really. But the best loot and gear in the game is obtained through the Dark Zone, and also the most enjoyable mobs to fight are in the Dark Zone. Outside the Dark Zone, you're pretty much God mode when it comes to NPCs. But in the Dark Zone, everything is hard to fight, at least at first. Maybe once you get like super geared up, it's all easy. But when you're first entering the Dark Zone and everything, and you're not as well geared, everything's really hard, and it's a lot of fun. But I just don't know about that player interaction aspect of it. That PvP portion of this game, I wish they had taken the time to create factions so that you know, if you see somebody of the other faction, you know that, you know, it's fair game. We're going to fight that person. Or they could have done all kinds of like games where, you know, you have a team trying to infiltrate a building and another team trying to defend, or disarm a bomb and defend the bomb. You know, there's all kinds of like team deathmatch, or there could have been so much more that they could have done, but instead they gave us this, and I just don't, it doesn't appeal to me. But it just still doesn't take away the fact that I like this game. I really enjoy this game, and I'm still going to play it. This whole portion of the game for me is like iffy. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. You know, and I think if you have a good group of friends, like a good solid group of friends to roll around with, it's going to be a blast. But if you're like me and you're mostly a solo player, there's no aspect of this that's attractive to you. So, but anyway, you'll notice that I've been fighting and getting gear, and the only way to get gear out of the Dark Zone is to call in a helicopter. And you'll see in just a minute I'm about to go extract my gear by putting it on a rope. And the rope only has 4 slots, so if there's like 5 people there waiting to put their gear on the rope, somebody's going to be left out. So that's another way to cause conflict. Once you extract your gear through the helicopter, you can go back to any of the safe houses or your home base and pick it up from one of the boxes there. It's pretty simple. That pretty much wraps up everything I wanted to cover, and I really wanted to thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, this was my first ever video, and I'm kind of proud of it, even though it's clunky and awkward sounding, and you know, it's probably something I'm going to look back on and be embarrassed by, but at this point I'm pretty excited, and I hope you consider subscribing. And I also stream on Twitch. I start around 8:30 Central Time most nights, and that's it. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I'm just going to leave you here with the rest of this boss fight, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks.
Warning. Incoming hostiles detected.
I'm impressed, Agent. Tricky assignment, but you did what had to be done.
Yeah, you broke their spine, kid. With the leader dead, the rest are gonna scatter.
I don't think we're quite done with them yet, but at least now we can get these JTF folks back on the job.
Oh yeah. I need my people alive and out there fighting the good fight. God knows we can't afford to lose any more personnel. I owe you, Agent. Hell of a job.